Hello, Twins fans. Week 2 of the Arizona Fall League is in the books. Let's recap how the Minnesota Twins players that are down there did this week. But before we get into
Brought to you by Kraken Wax. Kraken Wax has been offering sports card entertainment since 2008. The Kraken Wax District page lists thousands of collectibles from hundreds of sellers covering a variety of sports and interests. Visit the Kraken Wax page today.
let's get into it. So week 2 is done. Again, the Twins have 5 pitchers down there, 3 position players. We'll do a quick update on each one, and we'll do a deeper dive into one of the pitchers who is having a fantastic Arizona Fall League. But before we get into that, last week we kind of talked about just like what the Fall League is, why it exists. This week I want to talk about what we can take away from it or what we should. And this is just my opinion. So understand that the Arizona Fall League, in terms of usage, player usage, is a lot like spring training, especially from a pitcher's perspective. A lot of these guys are just getting in 1 time a week, pitching 1 inning, sometimes more. You know, if you get a start, you might be able to go 2, 3, 4 innings, as is the case with Jordan Carr. But there's, you know, when we break down these stats here in a second, understand it's an extremely small sample. A lot of times it's just a single appearance. From a hitter's perspective, they're getting a little bit more regular playing time. You know, they're getting anywhere from 10 to 20 plus 25 at bats throughout the week. So that's a little bit better of a sample. But again, anytime a player struggles for a week, we don't look too much into it. That said, given the competition that they're facing, I am going to take any struggles with a little bit of a grain of salt, and any successes I'm going to look into a little bit more. And I'm going to give a little bit more credit to, just because, again, of the level of competition here. A lot of these guys, I think there are 2 or 3 top 100 prospects. A lot of these guys are top 20 org guys, like Kalai Rosario for the Twins. And then the other guys are like AA level players who are pretty solid, not top of the line prospects by any means, but in some cases, like Kalai Rosario, he hasn't faced a AA pitcher. He hasn't faced that level. He's topped out at A+. So expectations need to change for a guy like Kalai Rosario versus a guy like Aaron Sabato, who's been around the circle a time or two. So that's my take on how to interpret these stats. Let's get into it. Just going to spit some stats at you real quick. So this week was a little bit of a rougher week for some of our pitchers. Malik Barrington and Ben Etheridge both made 1 appearance, lasted less than an inning, giving up multiple base runners, multiple runs. Zach Veen actually pitched twice, 2 1/3 innings total, giving up 7 runs. Only 3 of them were earned, but very messy innings for Zach Veen, so a little bit of a struggle there, even though a lot of those runs were, in fact, unearned runs. AJ LaBasse, 1 appearance, 1 inning, 1 strikeout, a clean single inning, so that is good for him. And we're going to break down and dive into Jordan Carr here in just a minute. He has been having a fantastic Arizona Fall League to start. Let's transition over to the position players, starting with catcher Andrew Cassetti. Last week, I think he only had like 9 at-bats, so again, just didn't get a lot of playing time. This week, he ended up getting 17 at-bats. 1 hit over those 17 at-bats. It was a home run, but that is also with a 53% strikeout rate. So he struggled to make good contact this week. Aaron Sabato, talked about him just a little bit. Again, last week I said this is kind of his last chance to maybe establish himself as some sort of prospect. If he struggles, he just kind of becomes a filler guy, I think, for the most part. First round pick from 2020, hasn't done much in his career. He struggled in week 1. Good news, he did a lot better in week 2. 5 for 15, 3 singles, 2 doubles, did strike out 6 times, but 6 strikeouts and 15 at-bats for Sabato's standards is not terrible. So a much better week. Last week, he started the week with a home run and then didn't get any hits after that and struck out an absurd amount of times. I don't recall, maybe 12 times or 8 or 12 times throughout the week. And then there's Kalai Rosario. And again, I'm going to give him a little bit of a break here. He has topped out at high A. A lot of this is kind of AA competition. So he hasn't faced that quite yet. This is his first taste of AA competition. He has struggled. 1 for 11 this week, also a home run, 5 strikeouts, so just under 50% for the week. But when we look at the entire Fall League, he is 2 for 32 with a 41% strikeout rate. So again, just a tough couple weeks for him. It'll be interesting to see how the next 2 weeks go as he maybe gets used to the better pitching he's seeing. But again, keep in mind, he's a high A guy, so it's not totally crazy that he's struggling. And now let's end on a positive note. I'm going to go back to pitchers. Left-hander Jordan Carr has been balling this Arizona Fall League. This week, he made another start, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, almost the same line. This week, he did give up 1 run off of a home run. Only 3 strikeouts, but no walks. And that's kind of his MO. He's not a big strikeout guy. He has decent strikeout rates. He has decent walk rates. But overall, he's done fantastic. He has the 4th best ERA of qualified pitchers who have made some starts. He was signed out of the United States Professional Baseball League back in 2021. This is actually a league. If you go to their website, I think it's just uspbl.com. You can see all of their alumni that's currently in Major League Baseball. The Twins have showed up on that list many times. This is a league they go to again and again. In fact, teammates with Jordan Carr, Malik Barrington, was a part of that league as well. And a name you're a little bit more familiar with, former Uber driver, now St. Paul Saint, Randy Dobnak was poached from that league. So the Twins just have a knack and have identified this league as being one where they can find some special talent in, and Jordan Carr is looking to be just another name there. He did pitch for College of Charleston in college, and then he spent 1 season with the USPBL before joining the Twins. Now, long-term, Jordan Carr is not even on a top 30 list on MLB, on Fangraphs. So is he going to become even a back-end starter? That remains to be seen. As you saw from his highlight reel, he's able to get some swing and miss on what looks like a slider there. Not a lot of scouting report just because he is coming from that USPBL. He's just completely under the radar. I mean, no-name prospect, for lack of a better term. So what does he become? Remains to be seen. Very young still in his career, so still a lot left to develop. But this organization has shown that they can find pitching talent anywhere. And so I'll be interested to follow him in 2024 and see how he does. That's it for the Arizona Fall League Week 2 recap. Let me know what you think on Twins Daily, on YouTube, Musings from Twins Territory, or on Twitter at Lenzy2108. My Kraken Wax District listing of the week is this Byron Buxton card, 2023 Topps Chrome collaboration with Lids, Mitchell, and Ness. Unique card being sold by Marlin's Guy on the Kraken Wax Market on the District app.